What's an unexpectedly well-paid job? UPS drivers can make close to 100k if you stay there long enough. Blew me away when I first heard that. I was a bathroom attendant in a fancy restaurant. Made hundreds of dollars a night in cash to do next to nothing. Well, they don't do nothing. Their purpose seems to be to make the bathroom experience half as convenient and 1000% more awkward. And they always succeed. If you have a strong stomach, cleaning up death and crime scenes pays very well and requires little education. I have a friend who did this. It definitely paid well, but he talked about some of the things he saw and I don't know if I could do it myself. Well, every 20-30 minutes I pull a lever and a train goes by. $110,000. Watch Netflix all night and play Hearthstone. $110,000. Edit. Lot of comments about how dangerous it can be to be distracted in this job. To that I say not if there aren't any trains. I mean a bell dings. I walk over and pull the lever. Sometimes, if it gets crazy, I might even press a button. Mobile crane operator. Union guys pull over 200k and it's a trade that's pretty easy on the body. I can attest to this. My husband is a mobile crane operator. Union, makes steady 150k and a year at 23 years old. His older co-workers make 200k. One guy made 278 last year. Honestly never even heard of crane operator until I met him, lol. He got into it straight out of high school and he is obsessed with his job, lol. My husband and his co-workers at his company, Mammoth, actually don't have any issues with wear and tear with the body. Definitely some wear and tear when he was an apprentice though. He works long hours and he works out of town a lot. There's a lot of responsibility as well and risk. He runs the AC 500. Huge crane. Also his dad and brother are union linesmen. Bro makes 140, his dad clears 200k. Utility lineman. There is a developing shortage nationwide due to baby boom retirements. It's well paid base, but the overtime is fabulous. Garbage collectors in New York are paid up to $112k. A solid salary considering you don't even need a degree. There is a job in my country called chicken sexer. You're paid something like 10k euros per mission to touch newborn chicks and determine their sex. Underwater welding pays a tremendous amount. The only one I know personally retired comfortably in his 40s. Court reporting. Stenography is a tough skill to learn, but plenty of court reporters earn over $100k. And no college degree required, although most CRs will need to be certified. Ditch digger. Actually, directional boring guy I know was literally a ditch digger, but got into this by renting the specialized equipment just at the right time and right place. Fiber optic build out in the 1990s. He will also say that he made it simply by being reliable and trustworthy. I do not know exactly how much he makes, but he has an 80-foot sport fisherman. Probably cost $7.10 million and he bought a $4 million property on a whim. I don't know if this is true in other cities, but T and bus operators in Boston make bank. I've rarely met a higher paid, less engaged group of employees in my life and I work in recruiting. Airline dispatcher. A girl I dated many years ago I met because she was living in my town training to be an airline dispatcher. There are just a handful of schools that teach it. I had no idea what an airline dispatcher was, let alone how much money they get paid. Dispatchers at FedEx can make $150,000 per year. It also gives you a lot of options to advance at an airline, like being station chief at an airline. The girl I dated had a dream to one day be Air France station chief in Tahiti. I don't know if she made it or not. Scrum Masters in software development industry. They are paid six figures for basically setting up meetings and being cheerleaders. They don't have any responsibility for delivery of work and they don't have any work beyond what I described. Update. I am talking about a dedicated Scrum Master who does absolutely nothing else but be a Scrum Master. Update 2. I agree with you when you say you hate that this position exists as an individual entity and do believe that having one person just do this is wasteful. Update 3. I am specifically referring to Scrum Masters. Project managers and engineering managers and POs are not included in this. Self-employed cleaning services. I don't know exactly what to call it. My parents started getting paid $35 an hour cleaning a community center to $50 from cleaning offices. My mom started it, then my dad joined in to help her with the hours and taking care of the house and kids. Eventually my mom got good contacts and started cleaning the offices of managers from factories, Sacramento politicians, and stuff alike. Can't express how proud I am of my mom. She turned all those shitty Hispanic cleaning lady jokes into something brag-worthy. I don't understand why every time this question is asked, a large percentage of the responses are skilled trades. The only reason I can come up with is the mindset in the education system that pushes every student toward white-collar jobs. Why are so many people surprised that the jobs that require a specialized knowledge, an apprenticeship most times, often as long as a bachelor's degree, an investment in tools, etc., is a decent paying job? In addition to that, tradesmen beat their bodies up, deal with nasty hazardous materials, cook in the sun, freeze in the winter, are greatly affected by the economy, and have a much higher at-work death rate than most jobs. Longshoremen. If you are a senior member of a union, you make absolute cake. $180 K plus a year. Plumbers. They can charge $100 an hour easy because people are stupid about regular things. I drive machinery in a coal mine in Australia. I make about $170K. Even our new trainees are paid pretty well, about $48 per hour. I think it ends up being close to $9100K. Easy money for sitting on your ass in an air-conditioned cab. Janitor in the public sector. In some states, corrections officers make insane money with just a given willingness to work overtime. Power linemen make bank. Not a lot of people even know about it. Collecting golf balls. Saw on the news a guy makes over $250,000 traveling around and using scuba gear getting golf balls. I work at home as a closed captioner broadcaster for the news. I make my own schedule and make between $35 to $65 per hour depending on the job. Large investments to get started but significantly worth the payout. At the right place, waitressing. I got tipped $800 waitressing at a bowling alley for a team building company party. Basically anything blue collar. Plumbers, electricians, heavy construction laborers, commercial truck drivers. The list goes on. Tipsy tech. I started out making $15 an hour in Illinois. Just need a high school diploma and the ability to not puke at the sight of blood and guts. I loved that job, only left because I needed surgery on my knee. I'd totally still be doing that if I lived in a town with a morgue now, but I live in the Alaskan bush. Anybody needing an autopsy just gets sent to Anchorage. Addendum. To everyone bitching about $15 an hour being nothing. This was in 2009. Yeah, it probably isn't enough to have a family on, but I was a 19-year-old and it was my first job. Hot dog vendors can earn 6 figures in a year. Buddy of mine went to Hopkins back in the day and noticed that the lacrosse games, while well attended, had no vendors. Nobody seemed to want the job, so he asked if he could. A year later he had all his friends bagging hot dogs the night before and was buying drinks and chips by the truckload. Sold everything for $1. Came home after every game with trash bags full of dollars. Year or so later the school realized what a cash cow he was and took over the gig, but my buddy had pretty much paid for school by then. Doorman at a big name hotel. Tips 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 baby. Technical writing. If you have the ability to take complex technical information and simplify it according to the reading audience, you can make well over $100K annually. People ridicule English degrees until they find out how much can be earned as a technical writer. Optician. I get $30 plus an hour to sell you glasses and contacts. Contractors for household moving companies with 18-wheelers can gross between $200 and $400K a year. IDK is surprising but one people don't think about. Selling ad space on local broadcast stations. I do it and make more than most families do in my area, and I'm at smaller market. Going into a medium one can put you well into 6 figures. Elevator technicians. An office job but you're secretly on Reddit. If you are from a less developed country which has little parkings and could not attend school, you can become a guard for cars, set up in a large area of about 20 cars and charge $1 per car. Sometimes they can give you up to $4 a car, and this is every 30 minutes for about 12 hours, which would give you about $1000 for a day of doing basically nothing. CBP officer, at least at the northern border and airport. experts. You sit in a booth and ask the same questions over and over again. Now and then you may end up referring someone to secondary based on suspicions, but another officer takes over at that point and you go back to your normal duties. Despite the job being law enforcement, it's incredibly safe, especially in airports where you're already shielded by multiple layers of security. I've heard they can make $130k plus benefits after just a few years on the job. No college degree needed. Dog groomer. It's a weird industry, though, and a skill that really has to be learned hands-on. Grooming schools can be a good start, but I know great groomers that never went to school for it, and terrible groomers that spend thousands on classes. Just being good at handling dogs is the best foundation for success. It's not the easiest job in the world. It's largely commission based, and you're lucky if you get any benefits out of it, but if you get enough practice and to be good at it and build up a loyal clientele base in a decently affluent area, it's good money. The haircuts I do range from $70 to $175, and I'm paid 50%, which averages out to around $30 to $35 an hour most days. Not everyone tips, but those that do usually tip $5 to $20 per dog, and because I do about 40 dogs in an average week, that's an extra couple hundred in my pocket. So if you don't mind working on your feet all day, sustaining repetitive motion injuries, not taking lunch breaks, dealing with insane customers, and picking shit off dog buttholes, it's a good living. Trader Joe's managers, general managers of stores make $100,000 plus. Assistant store managers make $60,000 Not bad for working grocery. School bus drivers. My grandfather was a school bus driver and he says it pays surprisingly well. All you are doing is sitting on your ass driving around and you get paid $30 an hour. However, you still have to clean the kids' slimy disgustingness afterwards. Truckers, and no, not the cross-country truckers, which are kinda almost a minority. The drivers I'm talking about are the ones who are delivering to restaurants and whatnot. You can make $60 to $100,000 a year easily. But now that you think about it, yeah, this would expectedly pay well, because imagine if all trucks stopped moving for one day. My cousin puts makeup on the dead and families tip her really well, especially when the person was sickly looking towards the end of life and she made them look lovely to remember by.